Welcome to Module 3, Part 1. In this module, we will focus on ideologies. Benthoff and Griffin define ideology as a system of beliefs that groups of people share and believe are inherently true and acceptable. Ideologies are rarely questioned and rather are seen as natural. Ideologies are self-evident. Film scholars Maria Pramagori and Tom Wallace define ideology as a worldview, a collection of political, moral, and cultural assumptions. Ideologies shape the world in important ways by influencing the actions of individuals and groups. Pramagori and Wallace argue that ideologies can also serve as a psychological and emotional justification for the differential treatment of some within a society, promoting the social dominance of one group over another. They have been used to rationalize oppression, violence, and genocide. Ideology divides society into us and them groups by defining what is normal and what is deviant. A dominant ideology is pervasive and often unmarked upon set of assumptions and beliefs that structure any given group or culture. According to Benthoff and Griffin, the dominant ideology of Western culture is white patriarchal heterosexual capitalism. White patriarchal capitalism is a dominant ideology of the Western world that suggests that heterosexual Caucasian males and gaining wealth are the most important things in the world. A dominant ideology of a culture is never stable. It is constantly in flux. Those of the dominant group try to maintain the consent of the people and govern them through the process called hegemony. Hegemonic negotiation is a theory of how culture changes as opposing ideas are encountered by the dominant ideology. The critical charge of an opposing idea is often softened or negated as it is incorporated with the dominant ideology. This is called cultural appropriation. A tool that is used to dominate subordinate groups in a way that is not physical include ideological state apparatuses or ISAs. Ideological state apparatuses are social institutions like schools, family, and the media that support an ideology through education and examples rather than overt coercion. Benthoff and Griffin contend that ISAs are more effective than more oppressive measures since the population complies to those in power frequently without even being aware that it's doing so. Cultural studies examines how culture and ideology work. This discipline assumes that every cultural artifact, such as books, movies, music, videos, songs, billboards, jokes, slang, earrings, and other things, are an expression of the culture that produces it. Every cultural artifact is a text that conveys a message. Producers and creators may encode a certain text with a particular message. However, it is not guaranteed that those that consume or interact with the same text will decode or read the same message. Consumers decode text based on their own cultural ideological positionings. There are three basic reading types. A dominant reading is a decoding of a text as it was intended by the producers to be decoded. An oppositional reading is a process by which a reader or spectator decodes a text in ways not intended by those who encode it. A negotiated reading occurs when a reader or spectator decodes a text partly according to the ways that it was encoded and partly in ways that it was not. Benthoff and Griffin argue that Hollywood filmmakers don't want moviegoers to question the politics of their films. Hollywood promotes its films not as political tracts, but as mindless escapism, and as audience members who accepts the tenet will rather be alert to the cultural and ideological assumptions that the films encode and promote. The fact that Hollywood films are generally understood as mere entertainment without political significance is in itself an ideological assumption, one that denies the importance of image studies and therefore represents white patriarchal capitalist film practice as neutral, natural, and inevitable.